Hi guys, and welcome to No Bullshit. I'm Becca, your truth teller, and this is your weekly Matrix moment. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. I've been doing a lot of thinking this week. It was a really tough week for me. I had, some ups and downs in terms of business and trying to, well, not even business, in terms of money and trying to get some so that I can afford to keep doing what I'm doing and to keep living the life that I want to be living and not have to suck it up and be someone's bitch, which is really my biggest fear right now. So I spent a lot of this week kind of going through that. It was a really rough one for me. And in doing all of that, I could feel the inertia coming, the autistic inertia, and I could sense a burnout around the corner. I don't know how exactly to explain it. I'm going to work on trying to explain it because I think it's something we need to talk about, but I could sort of sense it coming, like this is sort of where I'm at. And so, yeah, in all of that, I sort of just kind of had like a midweek kind of breakdown. I had to do some emails for work or whatever, and I have some conferences coming up, some speaking engagements, and I had one of them fall through, and that was really upsetting. And then finally I had to send probably one of the most difficult emails I've ever had to send in my professional career, and I had to the speaking engagement that I was invited to come in and kind of substitute for somebody who at the last minute wasn't going to be able to make it. And so I said, no problem, I'll do it. And then I realized, okay, I'll probably be able to swing the tickets to get there because it's one of those conferences where if you come as a speaker, they still don't pay for you to come, which is really weird to have to cover your own travel in that way. But in any case, past all of that, I had to kind of figure that out for myself. I'm sorry if I'm distracted. I'm trying something out this week. See this little rock? It doesn't look nearly as cool in real life as it does in real life, rather. But in any case, it's really smooth and soft. And I one of my little kind of stimmy things is when I'm walking, I pick up rocks that I think are really visually stimulating. But then I also really like how they feel in my hand. So that's what I'm playing with in my lap right now as I try to keep my train of thought focused for you guys. In any case, so I was feeling really down and I had to send this awful email basically saying, hey, I know I said I would substitute for this person, but I'm really not going to be able to swing it and afford to pay for my plane tickets at this time. Because the reality is that I really can't put another dollar on my credit card. It's already so bad because I've been on this job hunt kind of situation. So in any case, that's sort of where I was at, and kind of sending that email was the low of the low for me. I really felt terrible. I've never had to do that professionally before. It worked out okay, a couple of days later, it took a little bit, and then we processed it through, and we were able to find money to cover me to go to this conference. So I still won't be really making money, but I'll be at least covering my travel at this point, and I won't be out of pocket to do this. So one of the reasons I kind of didn't do conferences or put in for a lot of conferences this year is because even though I have a really good time at them, they're really expensive, and I knew we'd be buying a house this year, so I sort of planned ahead and knew I wasn't going to be able to do a lot. But in any case, here we are, right? So I send this awful email and bloop, meltdown, instantaneous, right? And I still had a lot of things to do that day, this past week, that day. And so I kind of, as I said to a friend later that night, I kind of just held it all in and I did my must-dos, and then I kind of sat in recovery for the rest of that day. And so that was Thursday, Friday-ish or whatever, and so here we are on Sunday, and yesterday I took like a full recovery day. Yesterday I really said to myself, oh, maybe I'll do my Sunday video early and spend Sunday relaxing with Antonio because he was out all day. He was gone, and so I said, oh, great opportunity to write. I should write, definitely write. Didn't do that. I really just ended up in front of the TV watching documentaries and doing self-care that apparently I really needed. So today I woke up feeling a lot better, and I felt kind of rejuvenated. But in the moment of that kind of situation, and dealing with the meltdown and kind of figuring out how I'm going to process through it, what I'm going to do about it, and kind of how I'm going to get through my day. I didn't want to get stuck. Because I can feel it. Oh, I know I could give in so easily to this inertia and just lay there and do the big give up so easily right now. But I really don't want to do that. I know better. I have other tools now to use, and so I really want to try them and see if they work, because I want to be able to share them with other people who need tools too. So in any case, getting through all that was no fun. And that's why I'm sharing it with you, because there's definitely parts of all of this that are no fun. In any case, that's what I wanted to start with, and I want to check my notes because I want to make sure I don't... Oh, right. That's what I wanted to share with you. So I had the big meltdown, and then I said, well, what am I going to do about it? Because I don't want to live in this, right? I don't want to get stuck in the meltdown. I don't want to get stuck in the sadness and the depression and all of it. And so what am I going to do? And what I did was I took my own advice finally. I said, you know what, I'm not going to sit here in it. Literally, I am not going to sit here in it. And I got up off the couch and I vacuumed. And then I cleaned the dishes and I started a laundry and I took a shower, because those things ground me. They sound like superfluous, stupid, annoying, really, because I hate vacuuming. Oh my God, I hate vacuuming so much. I am sorry for the out of focusness. I hate vacuuming with such a passion. I love vacuums. I love their concept. I love the cleanliness that they leave behind. But as a short person, dealing with a vacuum is really kind of painful. I usually get black and blues and stuff, and it's also very loud, which is hard for my sensory overload. And I'm really uncoordinated, and I bump into things a lot. And so that's what a vacuum feels. It's like a torture device for me. But in any case, I vacuumed anyway, because I know those things kind of begin the process of clicking in for me. It begins the thinking process, because while I'm physically moving, it relaxes my brain enough to start thinking about things besides the worries, right? Besides the what ifs. And so I did that. And I was really happy for myself that I did that, because I got through kind of pieces of things I wanted to get through. And then I also got my period. So sorry guys if you're watching, but yes, we all get it. And yes, I'm still getting mine. I'm not that old yet. And, you know, I forget how much it messes with my mental health. Like, I forget how much just the change in hormones and what's happening to my body physically, how sensitive I am to all of those things. And so I get really cranky, I get short-tempered, but I also physically start to feel sometimes right before, like I have the flu or a cold coming on, and then I get really short-tempered, but I also get a nice uptick in my anxiety and my depression. So these last few days with that and these stressors on top have been really uncomfortable. And so I was relieved to finally get it and sort of be on the other side of that, ladies. You'll know what I mean. Yeah, so that happened. And so while I was kind of doing all of this stuff to stay active and not give in to the burnout and not give in to the inertia that I could feel wanting to settle in, I just kind of, I realized that I really do not, and I want to say this slowly and clearly because I want all of you, or all 83 of you that are subscribing out there, to know that I don't want to spend another ounce of my energy or another second of my non-renewable resource of time, not even, I don't even know, not a millisecond of it, on something that is not in alignment with what I see to be my purpose on this planet. And that means, for me, personal happiness and fulfillment, and it means that I leave behind some kind of legacy of change for other autistic adults, for other autistic adult professionals, for all of us out there who are afraid of the stigma, and rightly so, and don't feel they can come out and live openly autistic, for those of you who haven't yet realized that that's the answer. I want to leave that stuff behind. That's sort of my thing. I don't have kids. I really don't want any. Got lots of pets, but that's the legacy I want to leave behind. And so in realizing that, I realized that a lot of the jobs that I was putting in for, even though they're really good matches for me, they are no longer in alignment with my purpose. or at least not what I see to be my purpose. And I think my purpose is, and what I decided, very rightly so, I needed it kind of black and white. I needed it tangible to understand what my purpose is. And I think my purpose is to share my lessons, to share what I learned as a really broken neurotypical person, and who was simultaneously undiagnosed autistic. What I've learned since receiving my diagnosis, and becoming a really, most of the time, happy, right? Because nobody's happy all of the time. Most of the time successful and pretty fulfilled person that I am, right? Nobody's perfect. I would love to say that I'm living all those things perfectly, but this is no bullshit. Oh, no coffee today. My belly's feeling the anxiety. See, I told you. So I'm not having coffee today. Water. And so yeah, that kind of was my big awakening. And so what I realized was that I needed to do something about that. That was the actionable task. That was the get out of jail free card, right? Get out of here without a meltdown card, was finding my purpose and then figuring out how to get to that goal, figuring out how to get there. For me, I do that the same way that I coach people to do it, which is to work backwards. You kind of figure out your goal and then you pick apart the ways to get there, and you work your way backwards to where you are right now. And then you start taking steps forward. So that's what I said. I'm going to take all of my own advice, and I've decided that this is my purpose and I want to share it. And I'm not finding venues that are accommodated to the message, I guess, or are interested in the message, but I know there have to be a bunch of you out there who will be interested in it, because I know I was living a pretty confused, miserable, unhappy life, and I'm pretty darn happy with how it is right now. And I got there by doing a lot of work, a lot of trial and error, and I would like to help other people kind of walk through that. So I decided kind of that's what these YouTube videos are for. That's what I want them to be. So I reached out to my friend group, and I got some really good feedback back about these videos, and what was missing. And so the early videos to this were what you guys can watch if you subscribe below or at the bubble or whatever I decide to do for this video. That, you know, I think their whole purpose is to share the journey of walking through it, to living the day-to-day of keeping these mentalities and using them, and kind of really incorporating them properly into your life. And then there's sort of like, what are the little button reminders that I need along the way once I've kind of habituated to that. So that's what I'm going to use these videos for. That's what I'm going to, how I'm going to get my message out to you guys. Why? It's free for me to do. And that, as most creating is, you guys, when you're feeling really down, creating most things these days is as free as it gets. Okay, you can download templates. There's an app for that, all of that kind of stuff. Super easy. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm tackling YouTube. I don't have any close friends that do YouTube. I don't know any YouTube influencers or anything like that. In fact, I don't know anything really about the platform all that much at all, other than knowing that that's where I could find videos. And so I'm teaching it to myself, and you guys are watching me learn it and get better at it and learn to add those little end screen subscribe buttons and start to change out my thumbnails so I don't look like a doof and things like that. And in that, I just want to share with you kind of the idea of the 3 set of videos. So right now we have No Bullshit, which you guys are watching right at this moment. That's my Sunday not safe for work. Here's my shit. Like, here's the crap that I'm dealing with right now. If you watched Becca's Backyard, this is Becca's Backyard on steroids. I promise I'm going to be taking you guys outside, taking you on hikes as soon as it stops being freezing cold outside. And we'll start doing things. With No Bullshit, and I want to keep sharing, because that was some of the feedback that I got, that what's being missed is the actual walking through of the things that I'm teaching, as I walk through them, because I use what I teach, and that's how I learned it. And so thank you for that feedback, because I'm going to do that. I'm going to use No Bullshit for that. I'm going to use No Bullshit to, without editing myself or thinking too hard about what it is that I want to share with you, I'm going to talk for 15-20 minutes, tell you what's up with my life, pretend I'm out to brunch with you, and kind of say, here's what's going on. Remember, we talked about this, just like I do with my friends. So that's what No Bullshit is going to be about. You get to see me live and share what it is to kind of walk through this journey as an adult autistic, trying to live a life that's maybe the antithesis of society, but what fits better for us and what fits better for me, especially. And so that's what No Bullshit's going to be for. Truth Nugget I do on Wednesdays, midday or so. Truth Nugget I want to be kind of a lesson that most people won't talk about, or getting to the core of a problem that many of us have, and kind of, how do I say it, just kind of exposing it for what it is. And so I'm going to do that. That's the Truth Nugget, and that'll be safe for work, and that's on Wednesdays. It'll be a little shorter than this one. And then the shortest one I'm going to do is going to be on Fridays, because everybody needs a little fun, a little pick-me-up on Friday, and also Friday starts with F. And so on Fridays we do the F word, and that's going to be a little short clip it where we're going to think about a word, and we're going to first talk about the word we did last week, and then we're going to think about the word for this week and kind of where it fits into our lives, and if it means in our life what we think it means, if it means how we use it, if we're using it the way kind of the definition of it goes, and kind of explore that word and think and take that time over the weekend to sort of digest where that word fits in our life. I call it the F word because for me, all of my words that I use for inspiration are beginning with F. And so we will be doing that on Fridays. I hope you guys will subscribe and kind of join me on this journey as I learn YouTube and as I get better and you learn to enjoy it and you guys are doing stuff. I hope you'll communicate with me and let me know if you're watching. Let me know if what I'm doing is working. Send me feedback. Let me know what I should be doing differently besides not just sitting here in front of this blue wall all the time, which I can't wait to take you outside, you guys. It's going to be fun. I want to think about having special guests, stuff like that. So find me on my social media platforms. Find me on my website, which is beccalaurie.com, and you can email me right from there. Send me what your thoughts are. But I think that's how I'm going to set everything up. I did some really good thinking about it, and this truly supports my purpose. Working on this YouTube channel is not only interesting for me because I'm kind of learning a new medium. I'm kind of getting comfortable being in this position, and I'm kind of seeing my face because as a writer, I write and no one knows what face I'm making when I'm writing it. So it's been fun, and it'll be interesting to learn the tech stuff for me. I like learning new platforms and knowing what makes them tick and kind of seeing how I can fit into that and how I can use it. So I'm now over you, Facebook. I just want to say I am over you, Facebook. I am over the algorithm and the non-sharing and the this and the that and the other thing. So I'm going to learn the YouTube algorithm and I'm going to play there for a little bit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of No Bullshit. I will be back with you guys next Sunday to share more shit that has happened in my life, I'm sure, between then. And I also want to make sure when I come back to you guys that I talk to you about going back to therapy. I had a note here for myself. Boop. So, oh, you can't even see it at all. Oh, there we go. Talk about therapy. Those are how I leave notes to myself because I did. I went back to therapy after being off for 8 months, and that's kind of an interesting story. So maybe that's my truth nugget for Wednesday. Maybe I talk about how the truth is everybody needs therapy. In fact, I'm probably going to make a note to myself after that. So you have that to look forward to if you watch No Bullshit. I will see you guys next week. I am Becca Laurie Hector, your bullshit detector.